Kevin Kempin was born the son of a naval aviator. His family moved throughout the U.S. to follow his father's career.
I was somewhat athletically inclined, and so it was natural for me when we moved to all these cities to get involved in sports. So I grew up playing baseball, football, and basketball, and I didn't start playing tennis till the summer before my high school year, freshman high school year, if you can believe that. My dad was really upwardly mobile, doing a great job in his business, and he got transferred to, of all places, Salt Lake City, Utah. Growing up in Chicago, in a big city and as diverse as it was, I kind of came out kicking and screaming. Pretty much a bratty junior in high school guy going, "You're kidding, we've got to move," because the plan was always to go to Notre Dame. We'd go down to their football games. There's a little Irish in our background. So we came out here. For me, I thought it was going to be a 2-year stop and then head back to college, and I fell in love with Utah.
While in high school, Kevin won the Utah State title in tennis.
The coach at the time at Weber State was quite, was somebody who really came after me hard and was very persuasive. And Weber State was just far enough away where I could feel like I was going to do my own thing versus going to the University of Utah, but was still close enough for maybe some home-cooked meals on the weekend, maybe a little bit of laundry if things were stacking up. So that was kind of the choice. At
Weber State University, Kevin was a 4-time Big Sky champion in men's tennis.
So really for me, the positives were the people. And that sort of flavor at Weber State, where it was certainly everything you'd want in a university in terms of classes and learning and opportunities and diversity, but at the same time was small enough that I got to know my professors very, very well. And of course, the other highlights were my teammates throughout the year on the tennis program for 4 years.
Kevin graduated cum laude from the John B. Goddard School of Business and Economics at Weber State University.
Wasn't quite sure, and yet I was still playing tennis at a relatively high level, and I wanted to see how good I was. So I spent the year after college over in Europe on the Pro Tour. Came back and started teaching tennis lessons to save some money to go and apply and go get my MBA, and that was the plan. And met someone along the way who I went into business with, and we started our own sales agency in sporting goods. And one thing led to another. A company called Prince, which was the #1 tennis company at that time in the world, asked me to go to work for them. So I did that. One thing led to another. Never did get my MBA.
When Kevin met his future wife, Darlene, she set a high standard.
She was also a tennis player. Matter of fact, our first date, I met her, asked her to go play tennis, and her first question to me was, "Well, are you any good?" I don't think she wanted to waste her time if I wasn't any good. And I said I used to play a little bit in college. And so that worked out great. That was a great first impression. So we met. We've been married almost 20 years, 19 years this past summer. We have 4 wonderful boys.
3 of Kevin and Darlene's sons are now the top-ranked tennis players in their age groups. As president of Head USA, an international manufacturer of winter, racket, and diving sports equipment, Kevin works to continue a tradition of innovation.
I consider myself incredibly lucky and fortunate to be able to do what I am doing. My education at Weber State in the area of business administration, and to be able to take that, sort of build on it, add some practical experience through a lot of years of hard work, but then mesh it with one of my loves, which is tennis, and playing tennis at Weber State. I couldn't define a better job than being president of a tennis and ski company. The other part that's great is I've got a couple hundred employees here in the U.S., and the ability to try to make things better for them and make it an enjoyable workplace, and just the team and the camaraderie is something really special.
In 1997, Kevin was inducted into Weber State's Athletics Hall of Fame.
It was instilled in me early on from a work ethic standpoint. Both my parents and my grandparents, having been close to them growing up, really had a phenomenal work ethic. To me, it's second nature, that you put in the time, you put in the effort, you put in the preparation.
Kevin enjoys seeing the success of his sons.
It is just phenomenal to see my 4 sons grow and develop, and to see them excelling in school and getting their 4.0s.
Kevin credits his Weber State coach, the late Keith Cox, with influencing the direction of his life.
And Keith was there. Boy, I think Keith coached probably 30 years. But my 4 years at Weber State, he was a big influence. And was really great to be able to have his guidance during some pretty important developmental years. Keith was, again, an amazing guy and touched a lot of people's hearts, and I was very honored. His wife Connie asked me to come up and speak at the funeral. So I represented 30 years of players and hundreds of players, and a good part of them were there at the service. And it was really touching to see the community come out and see all the players come back from all over the country and other parts of the globe, because I think what Keith meant to all of them, and it was very special to be asked. I was very honored to be asked.
The Weber State Alumni Association is proud to honor Kevin Kempin with the 2011 Distinguished Alumnus Award.